working. Sorry guys, I'm really struggling working with this. There's this software called OBS that you have to use to live stream.
I think this is working.
And it really gives me a hard time when when I'm trying to use it and make the connection between here and YouTube. But I just want to talk about today some highlights and lowlights of things that happened today. So today was Sunday. It's like my favorite day in the shop because I don't take any customers and I just get to play around and do things that I want to do. And so let's talk the highlight. The stuff from TSProf came in and I set it up and I did some opening box stuff, you know, normal things to kind of show you. But I gotta say, like, absolutely amazing sharpener. Really is super well engineered. I've been playing with it, and they sent like it has its own little digital angle cube that gets set here to be calibrated, and then you put it on top of the abrasive where the abrasive goes. And this thing is so well engineered. It is spot on. So there's angle measurements back here, and you know, most sharpeners I've ever seen are never like dead on. This thing is dead on. I set it for 20 degrees and I checked the angle cube, and it was spot on 20 degrees. Amazing. And I'll just show you real quick here. Watch this. I'm going to go way in more depth to this in other videos. But look at the flip on this thing. I mean, TSProf's just known for making such great stuff. And I don't know what you'd call this, like the rack and pinion or rotary, or I mean, that's just so smooth. It's just beautiful. Like, to flip the knife, absolutely amazing piece of technology. Really looking forward to going into more depth for everybody on the TSProf. So right now I'm breaking it in. Whenever you get new diamond abrasives, you need to break them in. So you never want to take this, like, don't take this to your best knife. You got to break the stones in. So I'm using like one of my craft knives here, and I just set it for 20 because I knew it was nowhere near 20 and I have to grind a lot of material off. And I'm just starting to get these abrasive diamond stones broken in before I take them to really nice stuff. But that's what's going on there. Let me give you the lowlights of today. So I talked the other day about how I was excited about I found this leather belt splitter, and I thought it would be great for splitting abrasive belts and to make them whatever size we wanted to. And let me zoom in here on that. So here it is. It came in, and as of right now, I cannot recommend this. It out of the box, it is not doing, without modification, what I want it to do. So there is some positives here, but unfortunately, like a lot of things that come from China, there's a whole bunch of negatives. So I'll do probably a little bit more in depth on this too. But you know, the first thing, which was funny, on the pictures of this, they had a measurements that were laser etched into the plate. But of course, mine showed up with absolutely no measurements whatsoever. I mean, zero. There is no way to align this plate because they didn't there's no marks. I mean, literally. So if you look at the ones online, you know, they got measurements on there. So that's a problem right from Jump Street. Now, fortunately for me, I have a laser engraver. So, you know, yes, I can engrave whatever marks I need on here. But for those of you that don't have a laser engraver, that kind of sucks. Now, that doesn't mean, you know, before I ever had an engraver and I had to mark certain machinery sometimes, I just, took a ruler and would draw Sharpie lines down things. You can do that in a pinch, but I was kind of not happy to see that they hadn't marked that at all. So that was the first issue. The second thing that I thought was kind of stupid. So this has three screw holes on the adjustable piece for setting your width, but they only gave one screw. And I mean, for this to truly be aligned straight, it would be really nice to have two screws, and they gave one. So that was kind of just dumb on their behalf. There should be two screws here, not one. So I gotta figure something out there. I tried to split a belt with it, and it would, it shouldn't be a problem splitting a belt. But here was the first issue that I noticed, which is different from my very expensive belt splitter. So you can see the expensive one has a track. And I was really hoping that, holding the belt up against one side of this would be enough, but it's not. It wasn't cutting clean, and it started to angle off, and so that was a problem. Another issue I noticed is the rollers, which are really cool, and you can separate, and you could even, kind of put one in between the blade and everything. They don't come far enough down to touch an abrasive belt, because the nut back here has like a ring sticking out further than the nut, keeping it from going any lower. Now, I could grind that off. I could put a different nut on. There's definitely things I could do to bring these rollers down closer so they are kissing the abrasive. So that's not a big negative. I kind of knew, going into this thing was meant for leather, so they allowed for a bigger clearance there. But unfortunately, right out of the box, this just isn't going to do what we needed to do. And here's the big problem. So we really need basically a fence on this side. So I don't know if it's, a thicker piece of metal that we're going to put down and, clamp it down, weld it down, JB weld it down. But it's going to need something so that belt can track in there, and then we could adjust one side. So then you got to start thinking, was like, is it going to need too many modifications to do what we need it to do? I don't think it will need too many, but it needs some. And that's what, kind of has me a little depressed about this thing, because I had a lot of hope for it. But absolutely, it's going to need a fence on one side for the belt to track in. It may not even need to be, really thick, but a nice thicker piece of metal, even something like the size of this, would be great on the one side, so that we could just adjust the other and move it where we needed it to be. Now, the blade part, fine. I was able to put a regular utility razor blade in there, or the razor blades that came with it. They were fine and would cut a belt no problem. But without the proper alignment stuff, the way this is right now is not going to cut it. So I'm going to not recommend that you buy this now until we figure out some other things with it, and I have to see if the modifications are even worth it. Now, it was only $40, so compared to like $160 the other belt splitter, it's a really nice price point, but we need to do some work to it. So I'm thinking about, maybe some cutting some acrylic with my laser to make a fence for this side. Possibly doing it with wood would work too. I got some ideas going, but this is going to be a work in progress. It's certainly not a out-of-the-box fix for making perfectly custom-sized, cut-down, smaller abrasive belts. So I apologize for that. I think there's a lot of potential there. Anyone who's got any great ideas, about it, go ahead and send them to me. I'd be happy to, you know, consider that in as I start to maybe plan a plan of attack to try and see if we can get this to do what we want it to do. But out of the box, it's a no go. So that was the day. So the high point was definitely the TSProf Pioneer machine showing up, and it's a beauty. I'll go into more depth and show you the capabilities of this over the next coming weeks as I do some videos for that. But very excited about that. Not real excited about the belt splitter, but hey, that's the way things go sometimes. And that's the update for now. And you guys have a great night. Enjoy your Sunday night, and I'll try and keep you posted. And hopefully I can figure out getting these live streams to start nice and smooth, and not have the little bumps there. I think it like tried to start like 2 times with no camera stuff, but hopefully I'll get that figured out, and we'll be able to go, just right into it whenever we need to go live stream, or if I want to just get something out to you guys kind of quickly. So that's it for now.